mic?
Yeah.
What do we say?
But just what, introduce yourself.
What's your name and what's the title of, what's your title in the company?
Ándale, what's your title?
Production manager? We haven't rehearsed none of this.
No rehearsal needed, we're just gonna
Aren't you
have
the
a good conversation
Josh is
here.
the director of operations, so you are the chief
Go ahead.
exit, chief operating officer.
What's your name?
So my name is Juan Jesus Lopez. I am the operations everything. We yeah.
Call it CEO.
COO, just and everything.
The wife of the CEO.
Hi, my name is Adina Lopez, and I am the CEO at Salsa El Gallo.
My name's Jaime Lopez, and I'm the chief operation manager.
Who wants to be the first one out? Who's the oldest?
Me.
Me.
Wow. I'm the older brother. Well,
Tell me, being a young man, and you can put the microphone a little lower like that.
Okay.
We don't have to see it, but, so, tell us about your trips, yeah. First, you were born where?
I was born in Ravenville, Texas.
Raymondville, Texas.
Right, a little bit north off of
Yeah,
here.
and what
Yeah.
you think? What you think about the valley when you're growing up? What years were those?
1974. Back in 1974, we at a very young age. My dad was always self-employed in construction or in working in the fields. So that's what we were used to. We grew up helping him in every which way, and we started going to migrant field worker, or at least going out into the fields at a very young age, 4 or 5 years old. Just tagging along. Making the weight a little heavier on our parents, until we were able to start helping out.
So you got to see some parts of the country, right? Some other parts?
Yeah, so we migrated to several states, Washington being the main one, Ohio, Colorado, and along the way, getting there was always a challenge back then, since we didn't have GPSs. It was all via map.
And how was life growing up here in the valley back those days?
Growing up here in the valley, we always had to leave early and come back late since we worked. And so, by the time April hit, it was time to check out of school and leave up north. And it was always something that we as a young kid, you dreaded, because you were going to be leaving all your friends behind. And you were going to go work in the summer. And we never had a summer off. Ever through our high school, through our senior year. We never had a summer off. So one of the things I did as part of that process is, once I finally graduated from high school, by the way, graduating from high school was the ticket out from having to continue going to work in the fields. Our parents allowed us to continue our education, and so once we graduated high school, we no longer had to go work in the fields. And so we all got a higher education because of that.
But working in the fields, did you ever pick peppers, and that would motivate you, or just?
Yeah. So locally here, even in the summertime, we would work up in the States, but we would come back down here to the valley. We did work. Of course, when you were young, I didn't know it was any different. It was a field, a field here, a field somewhere. Now, as a group, I found out it was here in the valley, picking all these different onions and all these other peppers. And I think one time we saw cotton fields. I don't know if we actually picked it or we went in there for fun, but I remember being in those fields and doing stuff. So who knows, But we were young, and we were just always helping out our parents and everything. We were seven siblings, so we all had to. Yeah, tomatoes was one of our favorite things to pick, and they were so delicious right off the field. Like everything else we got to experience growing up was tasting fruit and vegetables right off the field, right there and then. It was like nothing else. Highly recommended.
Okay, now we talk a little bit to. What him first? Yeah. The brother.
His take
You remember him? You both of you out there in those hot fields, or were they not hot?
Oh, my
Especially up in Washington and that.
Well, they were hot in the summer. It was very hot, and we had our cold and hot days. So we were able to experience both weathers. Growing up, it was part of our life. It was part of our livelihood. We did it. We didn't do it for fun. It needed to be done in order to put food on our table. I have very fond memories about it. Other people might see it as a difficult thing to do, but to me, I really enjoyed it. I was actually born into it. My daycare would be hanging out in a hot car with the windows rolled down, of course. Waiting for my parents as I would see them work in the fields, and I would be in the car waiting for them because I was a bit young. I was 3 to 4 years old. At the age of 5, I was tall enough, strong enough to be able to help alongside my parents, and we did that as growing up. I mean, I did graduate high school in the class of '96. After that, I retired. I would say I tell people I retired from working as a migrant worker because I feel I did it for so long. That, when high school was our ticket out. I mean, when graduating from high school was our ticket out of working in the fields. So after that, I joined the military and served the country, and came back and decided to go into the medical field. It was somewhere where I can be in the air conditioning, don't have to be out in the hot sun. So I decided to go into the medical field, and I've been doing that to the present time. I'm a registered nurse, and I've had a very long career now, close to 25 years or so of being in the medical field, and I've enjoyed it. But we decided to go into this business, this I guess how would you say something different. Since we're familiar with tomatoes and peppers and all that, we decided, why not? An idea was born, and we jumped on it, and 9 years later, we have this product that is very tasty, very wholesome, and and very enjoyable by a lot of people, and pretty much goes with any kind of food you can think of, especially being Hispanic and in this culture. It goes very well with any kind of dish. Any kind of Hispanic Mexican dish that you can think of.
You hear a lot about the migrant workers and all, but really it was like a family working together and bringing all the money together. They would kind of help each other and bring you up, get you from being real poor, or right?
Yes. Obviously when we were children, we would work. Obviously the money would go to help support the family, our living expenses for the remaining of the year. We would work anywhere from 6 to 8 months, maybe a year, and that money was saved up for the remainder of the year. And everything was pitched into the pot. We never really got paid per se. My brother and I, we were like, hey, how come we don't get paid? Obviously the money was for the family. We were a large family. We're 7 siblings, and we all had expenses, and clothing my mom needed to purchase for all of us, and put food on the table for the remaining of the year until the next season came along, and it was time for us to travel up and migrate and go to different states throughout the United States. And it was very, 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 I guess we were very fortunate, because we got to see and experience other states, I guess the United States is a very beautiful place, and we were able to experience, that at a very young age, which is, I think that was one of the perks of being a migrant worker.
You look forward to it then the next year?
We look forward to every year. Unbelievable, I know it was a very hard work. It was very, but I did personally, I know some of my brothers might have, didn't quite feel the same way I did. But I embraced it. I guess I just figured that was just the way it was going to be for now, and I had to learn to embrace that. And so I enjoyed it, and I believe I was the one that did it the longest. Obviously, I graduated from high school. I was the youngest, me and my sister, so we did it the longest, and it was sad. It was something sad for me because I knew that was going to be the end of it. And I still till now sometimes joke around with my children and tell them I'm going to take you to go work, I have returned to those places. but more as a vacation, more as a, taking my kids and explaining to them and showing them where I came from, where his father, their father has been through, to be able to have to be where we're at now. It's,
Any advice for the kids?
well, my advice for kids is, stay in school, get an education, because physical work is very, very hard, and that's one advice that I took myself. I educated myself in order to avoid working, out in the hot sun, day in, day out, so the advice would be, stay in school and get a good education that will take you places one day.
In being Hispanic, did you all experience? I mean, I grew up in the '60s, so it's going to be a lot different. But you guys in the '80s or '90s, maybe?
Well, back in the 80s and 90s, there was still discrimination because we were Hispanic, and growing up as children, me and my brother can vouch that in school we were segregated to some extent, and our rooms were separate than the other children. And as a child, you don't understand what's going on. Now, as an adult, looking back, you do realize that there was some discrimination, and we did get to experience that. Obviously, as a child, we didn't quite understand it.
I wanted to add to that.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask you the same. Yeah.
One of the items that about if we saw those type of items was when we were working in the fields. I remember one of the things, because I was a little older, we would get sprayed on with the airplane pesticides, and at the time, all you would use is just your shirt to cover yourself. But we would, in the day, being soaked in that chemical, and all of us went through that. And it's you wonder why that happened. But now we once we grew up, we realized possibly what it could have been. But we had to experience those, and those things at the time we didn't know what it was. But yeah, that's what as a migrant field worker, I believe everybody experienced those type of things when you were sprayed on with those chemicals. And who's to say some of the effects that we have now, but yeah.
But discrimination, you said, like, I grew up in '60s and so young. You always kind of, you didn't really feel it,
Right.
like it was part of life, right?
It's part of life. It was part of life.
No, I mean, I don't hold I'm not hostile to what,
No.
that's the way it was.
That's
and
the way
you
it was.
Feel like I said, you were so immune by watching TV and that there were white people and all that, but that's the way life was, right?
That's the way life was.
Yeah.
I believe it has shaped us. What we experience in life, for me and my brother, has made us who we are now. It has shaped us and it made us see life in a very different way. I think it's the experiences we have as a child, obviously, are reflected as an adult now, and our way of seeing life and its obstacles. I think it's helped us get to where we're at now.
Very proud of being Hispanic.
I'm very proud of being a Hispanic. Yes, being born here in Texas, and coming from parents who had immigrated from Mexico, and I'm very proud of my heritage, very proud of my culture, and I'm very proud for being a Hispanic American. I guess.
By the way, our parents just this year, 2020, they both have now are naturalized. They both actually officially became naturalized citizens. And so we're very proud at their age of 77 and 74. After all these years, they were always permanent residents, but as far as in naturalized citizens now, and they could vote. And so they were very excited, and we, of course, took pictures and all that good stuff. And we're very proud of our parents.
What do you tell the young people about, how to be successful?
So, you have to realize that you have to put your time. You have to pay the price, whatever that price is. It's either work, it's either, just your time. And when I got my career started, I put the time and I put, my best foot forward, regardless of whatever it is that you're getting paid. Because as a migrant field worker, yes, you made money, but you also, worked your back into it. But we never saw a penny of that. But now, over the years, that has helped us with our business to do whatever it takes to make it happen. And even though it's been a long 8 years, perseverance, it's been a long now 9 years, and we're now at the point where we're able to employ 20 plus people. And that in itself, what makes us proud.
Thank you. So let's get the wife a little bit here.
Yes,
How
yes,
you-
yes.
How you enjoying this? How do you feel about being involved in
We started in education.
with these great guys here? I mean, it's gonna be, you can see how, it's not easy to get up to the point where we all at.
Correct. So I'm a teacher. I was a teacher for 20 years, and 2 years ago, my husband was like, this is getting too big, too much to do. So I resigned, and I've been with the company for 2 years now. And even since the time that I've been on, I've seen the growth and how much busier we've become. But both of these guys here, they've put in hours of work, and just they're relentless.
This is, to be connected to the company and to feel good, what can you tell other people, like, especially being an educator?
What can I tell other people?
Mhm.
My mom always taught us, you were bringing up the point about discrimination. And my parents, they were pastors here in the Valley, but before that they lived in Ohio, and my mom would always prepare us, you guys have to do well in school. And before we started kinder, we knew everything we needed to know for kindergarten, and so, she's the one that instilled the education part into my sisters and myself. And like Jaime said, now that he got his ticket out of where he was, he knew that education was the way to go. And so, you don't necessarily have to have a degree or what have you to start a business, but, just the course that it takes to earn your bachelor's degree in whatever it is, that itself teaches you a lot of, time management and just determination. And, you don't give up. You just keep going until you reach your goal.
In America, there's still an American dream for all of us, no matter what
Right.
race we are, right?
Right.
We succeed if we work hard.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Nobody opens doors for you. You have to put yourself out there.
Anything you want to all that?
On that topic.
Not just in general.
Just,
I didn't add like my background or anything like that. I don't know if that will be. I have about 20 years in the school system, like my wife, but I've been in the business side, in the school finance. And so after, putting all my time on that, I finally thought it was time for me to jump and start our own business. And ever since then, I didn't look back. I stepped aside and made it happen. And so I was doing all the luckily for what I had learned, I started with the business doing all the payroll, all the accounting, all the taxes, and just doing all the back office items because of my training. And that really did help us get going and getting some traction.
What were you going to say?
Well, have you seen our packaging? Our packaging.
Yeah, packaging. I was going to ask, how did you all come up with the name Gallo?
All right. Well, she's the one who.
I don't want to.
So she can tell you, but
Yeah.
But I'll say, so it was my wife actually's idea, the Gallo. It was actually the name. It was the packaging was also her idea. So pretty much, I think this business is her business.
So tell me, did you come up with that name?
I just wanted something. I just wanted something that was, Mexican, representative of our culture, and so we brainstormed a lot of different names. But I just figured that El Gallo was Mexican, the male proudness being very prominent in our culture, and I just felt that El Gallo would represent that very nicely. So that's how we came up with the name.
And the colors were designed for the Mexican flag. Green, white, and red represent. So I helped design this, or at least I put it together. She put it together. I kind of, we're still in finding out who actually put it together. But we put it together, and we felt that, well, it needed a bird in there somewhere along the line. So obviously an eagle is the Mexican flag, so the rooster was the next best thing. So
did you all ever grow up chickens?
So outside, we have roosters. I have
And chickens.
chickens, and so we have, free range eggs is what we.
That's a Mexican thing.
Yes, that's what we have out there. And that's what we have, and so yes.
My mother, she was born in Mexico, and she came back. I grew up in Chicago, So when we come back, that's what she was dreaming of, having a little house with some chickens,
So yes. So the back of the package, this is our snapshots of every package has its own picture of the peppers, and so this is our snapshots of it, and we put it together, and everything. We also have our favorite verse here: "Taste and see that the Lord is good," and so representative of what we believe in. That got us here.
So being Mexicans, we come a long way.
We have come a long way. We're proud.
Yeah.
Thank you. How many countries do you all send this stuff to?
How many salsas we make a day?
No, how many countries?
How many countries? Well, we're now throughout the United States and Europe, Philippines, and of course in the United States, Alaska, and just everywhere. We send it.
Joshua Cordova.
So how do you feel working here for the family?
It's great, sir. It's really good. We do a lot of hard work here. This is good to help out. I feel good to be able to help out my dad, so it feels nice.
These are very quality, very clean, kind of packaging is all, everything, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We do our best to make sure that we put out the best product that we can. Whether it be, if we can eliminate the amount of air that's in there, just anything that looks nice, that's what we really want to put out to our customers.
What have you learned from your dad?
I've learned everything from payroll to just really taking a step back and seeing what we can do better to, suit our employees and better the shop and our products.
But in life in general?
In life in general, just to continue to work hard and always work hard. I've seen my dad, from the highs and the lows, and it's just really cool to see that and put that in perspective to my life. And, every time that things get rough, I try my best to, work hard like he does. And it really does help.
Can you have your name, please?
I'm sorry?
Your name, please?
Joshua Cordova.
So these are part of one of the original pots that we used in the beginning. They've gotten so old now we use them as strainers for our product. Sealers that we would that we would use, which now was replaced with that machine there. So we used to have to hold this one on here for about 20 seconds per bag, just to seal it. How it used to be. Relics.
Why you decided to package it like this, like with that little bottle?
We wanted something different. We wanted something different, something that wasn't already in the market. And to this day, we are still the only hot sauce salsa that packaged in a plastic pouch.
Did you give it a different flavor?
No, it doesn't have to do anything with flavor, but it's convenient. What it is, it holds very little air inside because you're able to squeeze out the bottle. Squeeze the bottle for the air to come out. Air is an enemy to any food product. So the least amount of air that could be in it at one time, the longer and the fresher it stores. And then being here in the valley, our staples are tacos. So that particular bag lends itself to be able to just directly pour onto a taco, not having to use a spoon or any other utensil. You just straight from the package pour it onto your food without having to dirty any additional dishes. And then the space in the trash, it flattens out flat.
throws away or recycles, whichever one you do.
You ever in your dreams you were gonna think that this was gonna turn out like this?
No, no. We had a big vision, but it's gone beyond that. God had favor in our business.
And it's all because of customers, right?
Customers are number one. I mean, especially here in the valley, we were able to get so much support. Being that this region is known throughout the United States to be the lowest socioeconomic, in this from a product to come out of this area makes us very proud, and it makes us very proud to be part of that.
Something nice from the Lopez family to the valley. What do you want to say to them?
Salsa Gallo team, here to serve you.
Hottest salsa in the valley.